Hi, welcome back, and welcome if you are new here. My name is Kayla, and I'm just going to talk about my Kundalini awakening and how it unfolded for me and what happened for me in particularly. Although whenever you have your own experience, it is going to be different for everyone, depending on your purpose for being here, your mission, and what you are needing to be cleared or activated within you. So, please only take what resonates. I'm not here to prove or convince anyone of anything. I'm just here to share my own personal experience, shed some light on Kundalini itself and how I use it in my daily practice to help bring in more magic and love and unity. So the first time that this happened with me was, I guess the way I should say it is, happened for me. At the time, I was not aware that this was going to happen. I had no prior experience with this. I was going to what were called like Kali activations, and I was feeling the energy like in my hands and like in my body, and like was like doing like back arches and stuff. And I was going to those a few times because I was guided to start going to them. And then I went to this spiritual gathering in Tennessee and was camping out there for about 2 weeks. There were many different kinds of events and workshops and many beautiful people. And I was giving intuitive readings to people for free and just sharing my magic with anyone who resonated with what I was doing. And I remember the day of, I was pulling cards and I kept getting the judgment card, which is connected to like your higher calling, being called to action. And then I got like the 8 of Wands, which is like fast movement, like coming in very quickly. Excuse me. And the day before, I did a ceremony for one of my good friends who passed away, and I did like a ceremony to make sure he made it to peace. And we had a falling out, so it went a bit deeper than I thought it was going to go. It was very emotional and a lot of releasing that was happening. And I went to a healing event the night before, and I set the intention to become the divine channel that I'm here to be. And I'm not really sure where that came from. I believe that came from my higher consciousness, and I set the intention and completely forgot about it. And then the next day, this beautiful soul who I was camping next to, we were connecting very deeply, and she asked if I could give her a Reiki and a love and light language transmission. And of course I said yes, I would love to give that to you, and see what comes up. And she was laying down and I was doing the Reiki and setting up sacred space and, just connecting with my guides, her guides, and the angels and the archangels and just all of these different beings of light. It was just really beautiful experience. And as I was moving over her stomach, she just started bawling her eyes out, just started like profusely crying. And I was like, just let it go, just keep releasing, like Mother Earth is here for you, like just let it go, let's let it go. And she looked at me and she said that she had a stillborn, and she was feeling his kicks like ever since, and it's been 17 years since she has not felt his kicks after I gave her that healing session. And then I And then I received a download to give her a heart activation. So then I started bringing through love and light language and moving up to her heart. And then she just looks at me and she was like, Kayla, like, I'm wide open. And I was like, okay. It was like, just let it flow through you. Like, don't attach to anything. Just let everything flow through. And then I watched her eyes. Like I said, take it or leave it. This was my own personal experience. You know, I have other people who were there that witnessed this, but her eyes turned to dragon eyes. They got, like, her pupils were really small, and she looks at me and she says, Kayla, I'm the mother dragon. I'm here for a message. I'm here to bring through a message. This is important. I need to share this with people. And 5:55 when I looked at the clock. So this was like a big shift in my life. This really opened me up to how there are other beings around us and within us as well. And she was just started speaking dragon, and just saying that she was the mother dragon, she was the mother of all of us, and that we need to start taking care of the planet more, and we need to remember our power, remember the abilities that we came here with. And one thing led to the other, and then it started to turn into like a storm above us. And then her human self started to come back in, and she was like kind of getting freaked out, and I was just trying to calm her down, trying to just be there for her, hold space for her. But then all of these other people started coming around, and she started like screaming, she started freaking out. And then the next thing happened is she was like going around and like touching people, and they started falling backwards and like activating. Like, that's the best way for me to explain it, is they just started activating like right in front of us. And I was guided to put my hands on her head and call in the divine source of love and light, and just repeatedly say that over and over again. And as that happened, she started to like calm down, everything was fine. And then I felt like this thump in the back of my heart space, and then I felt it like traveling up into my throat and like coming up into my crown. But before it like shot out through my crown, I felt another presence come in to the top of my crown. And then I just remember someone saying like, and at this time I was vibrating uncontrollably. I had to sit down. My whole body was buzzing and vibrating. It was very intense. It was very, I don't know, it just happened out of nowhere. You know, it's not something that I was ready for. It's not something that I necessarily wanted to happen in that time, because I was around complete strangers, although I felt a deeper connection with a lot of them from other lifetimes. But, you know, this was happening, and as I felt that consciousness come in through the top of my crown, people were just saying how I was glowing and I was so bright and I was gonna explode, and like my eyes were closed because I'm just like vibrating uncontrollably. I can't open my eyes. I'm on the ground now. People are saying that I'm glowing. And I mean, it's something that you would see out of the movies. And then the next day I was going around and I was sharing wisdom, sharing love, sharing compassion, whatever someone needed. I intuitively knew, and I gave it to them without them even asking. I just knew exactly what they needed. And I believe that experience was whenever I was anchoring in and embodying in my own Christ consciousness, because we all have that ability. We all have that capacity to do that. After we do the work within ourselves, we can bring in that energy if that is in alignment with our path. And for some it's not, and that's totally fine. You know, there's no judgment, there's no comparison, there's no competition. It is what it is. And so after that, I came home, and you know, it was a really beautiful time there. I started to just see things very clearly. I could see patterns, and I was seeing codes, and I still see them right now. I see codes everywhere. I see sparkles in the sky. I'm very connected, and I'm very grateful for that connection. But I do believe that this experience brought me more deeper into that awareness. And so my intention with sharing this is to help others feel that they're not alone, and that not to like instantly go to you're crazy or you're losing your mind. Like, these are experiences that are here for us. And at the time, I didn't have anyone to really help me through this. I was alone, and I went through a very deep and dark night of the soul. And what I mean by that is, like, everything just started to just crash in my life. Everything was like uprooted and upheavaled, and it was intense. It was traumatic. It was one thing after another, and 11:11 as I looked at the timer. So this was a way for me to come back into alignment with my higher consciousness. And this is definitely not something that should be ever forced. I do not recommend that. And anytime if you do feel unwell mentally or emotionally or physically, then please go get checked out by an actual doctor. But for me, I knew that this was a spiritual experience, an energetic recalibration, a remembrance of my divine self. And so after that experience, then I had another, and that's the thing with Kundalini, it comes in phases. It's not one and done for most people. It comes in phases. There's lots of clearing that needs to come. There's lots of remembrance that is coming forward. There's lots of activation that is going on. And so the second time it happened, it was a bit more intense. It was a bit more of like a clearing in my solar plexus where I felt it, and then it came up into my throat, and I just went into my bathtub, and I was just laying there. And I did have, every time that this has happened, there has been someone that has been there for me, and they call themselves a caregiver, a spiritual caregiver. The second time that this happened, this person, I don't think was really supposed to be there, because we did not resonate. They were definitely wearing a mask, and I seen it during this second experience, and I felt like the envious energy coming from them, unfortunately. But that actually showed me that that's not where I was supposed to be, because I was supposed to move with them. But they were, very manipulative, very controlling, and basically like a covert narcissist. But that was just showing me that, during this experience, and them giving me that envious energy, that just wasn't in alignment. So yes, I am grateful for it. But and he did help me out a lot, so I am grateful for that. And also, so after it was like in my throat, and then it shot up through my crown, and then I sat there and I channeled, and I was like, the best way to explain it is like, it kind of was like dragon energy coming through. It was very dragonic. It was, I guess you can say, kind of like reptilian, like Kali Ma energy. And like, I was like channeling a lot of love and light language. I was like shaking my body, and it was just a big release, a big purging. And ever since, I've just been having more phases that are just coming up and coming up and coming up. And now my body will just like buzz and vibrate occasionally. Or I'll just get like intuitive downloads like instantly. And my suggestion and my recommendation is, if you were going through any of these experiences yourself, to really ground in with Mother Earth, call her in. She is here to assist with this. There have been times where I've been in public places or around people who I didn't want this experience to happen around, and I would instantly put my feet on the ground, call in Mother Earth, and it would just flow through me. So if you ever are feeling unsafe or in an environment that is not going to support this transformation and this rebirth, then I do suggest to do that. And yeah, so, you know, every time it's just been like an activation, a recalibration, and my aura is just getting more powerful and more powerful. I'm becoming way more magnetic. I'm able to manifest almost like instantaneously. Also, I have come back into union with my higher consciousness and awakened to my true purpose for being here and recognizing who I am at a soul level. And this was just like a huge transformation in my life, a huge rebirth. And we don't need to go through these dark nights of the soul. We can really just put our focus and our energy into something else rather than trying to figure it out or trying to analyze it, putting our energy and our focus into something more uplifting and fulfilling. And I wish I would have known that at that time, to just really focus on meditating and experiencing and feeling deeply every emotion, every experience. Everything that's coming up is coming up for us to show us a deeper truth about us and to bring us into this awareness that, one, we are not alone. We never have been alone. Two, these transformations and these rebirths are recalibrations and are energetic surges and purgings of what is no longer serving us anymore. So once you continue to do the shadow work and the inner work, you will experience these awakenings. But if you are not doing the work and you are forcing these experiences and these awakenings to happen for you, it can cause psychotic breaks because you're not ready for it. You will only receive like what you are ready for, but it should be happening naturally. Nothing should be forced or rushed. And you definitely will be pushed away from the duality aspect of the world. I now don't see things as necessarily good or bad or good or evil. I see things for what it is, and I believe that the only moment that exists is the now moment, and everything else is just energy that is always transforming and changing and evolving in its own way, at its own pace. And so now I use this Kundalini energy by breathwork and by meditation and tuning into all of my chakras and just clearing my channel every day, because this is how I bring through activations and clearings and messages for the collective to assist with this ascension that has taken place. And you know, we all have these attributes and these qualities of the divine within us. We are all a divine spark of the one consciousness and here to express ourselves in different ways. And there is no one who is better or worse than another. We are all on our own unique journeys, on our own paths. And you know, we have different lifetimes where we choose different missions, where we have certain lessons that we're here to learn and creations to birth through us. This Kundalini energy is not anything to push away or to be fearful of. If you are fearful of it, then you are not ready for it. So don't force that upon yourself. You'll know when you're ready, because it will just come naturally. And I truly believe that what is meant for you will never pass you by. And if you keep pushing something away, it will just come back even more intensely, more strongly. And I mean, this goes into like manifesting as well. Like if you really want something, or if you really don't want something, you know, don't try to push it away, because that brings it more into your field. But also just like recognizing that it is energy, and where you put your focus is like where it expands and where it grows. And it's just something to be aware of, for sure. And I know I've spoken to a few different people who have had these experiences and have had these awakenings, and their doctors have said that, oh, it was like a psychotic break, or it was you know, something like mentally going on or emotionally. And there is a fine line between a spiritual awakening and psychosis. If you are paranoid, then that is leading more to psychosis. And if you are questioning things, or everything around you is just like crashing, breaking, and reforming, that is a spiritual awakening. If you are having energy surge throughout your body, that is a spiritual awakening. If you are seeing other beings, that is a spiritual awakening. If other beings are telling you to do something wrong to someone else or to yourself, that could be a mental illness. So just being very cautious and aware of the difference, and you will feel that within your being. And so this is just to bring conscious awareness to this experience, to this awakening, and just acknowledging that our bodies are technologies, and we're here to take care of them. They are our temples. And this isn't, okay, let's just all stop eating meat. No, if that resonates for you, great. But that's not for everyone. Not everyone is here to experience that. That is not going to resonate for everyone. Some people will get very sick if they do that, and it's not actually beneficial for their body. And that's like the other side of spirituality, I would like to say, is when people say there's only one path and one shoe fits all. That is an illusion. That is not true. That is not the divine truth. And I'm here to bring awareness to that. And also, like, oh, okay, everyone needs to stop smoking weed and drinking alcohol. Like, yeah, if that resonates for you, then great, amazing. But I believe everything in moderation, everything in balance. And that is like really what is being challenged in this world, is just coming back into balance, coming back into harmony, and remembering that true radiance, that true love, that peace that resides within each one of us, and how we're here to share that with the world, how we are being called to anchor these frequencies, share this wisdom with the world, and to help each other become better versions of ourselves. Because we are all essentially exactly where we were meant to be in every single moment. Sometimes our minds like to play tricks on us and say like we should be somewhere else or we should be someone else. But once we really come back into our true center, we realize that everyone is doing the best that they can, and everyone that comes into our reality has a contract with us. There is a role they are playing, and we are playing for them to help each other evolve, to help each other learn, to come back into this remembrance of our own power, our own magic, and reflecting that back to each other in one way or another. And this happens a lot with relationships that are kind of around like betrayal and distrust. That is just a reminder to come back to yourself and see, are you showing up for yourself? Are you loving yourself? Because these are just catalysts into our remembrance of our true brilliance, of our radiance, and our inner power that no one can take away, that no one has the ability to mend with, that has the ability to mess with, unless there is a version of you, a wound, that is allowing that to take place. And one thing that I like to do every day is I say these 7 phrases, and I meditate and breathe deeply within each of them and see how they resonate for me and in my being. And if there's any constriction or restriction or nausea or anything that does not feel good for me, I really breathe into that and I see, what is this showing me? What is here for me? What can I learn from this? So the 7 phrases are, the first one is, I am breathing freely. And with each of these phrases, I breathe very deeply 20 times. And as I breathe out, I say these phrases 20 times in my own mind. So I am breathing freely is the first one. The second one, my mind is quiet. The third one is, I love myself just as I am. The fourth one, I accept the world just as it is. The fifth one, I open my heart to receive. You can just leave it like that, or you can fill in the blank with whatever resonates for you. The sixth one is, I know who I am. And the seventh one is, I am here now in bliss. And you can rearrange these, you can put in your own words, whatever resonates for you, just coming back into a practice that really aligns you, grounds you, awakens you to your true power, and having a routine or a structure that can really clear your energy, clear your field. And a few other practices that I do is I imagine a light that's coming up through all of my chakras and comes up into my soul star. I hold it for 3 breaths and I bring it back down. This is a chakra activation, and I do that 6 times. And then on the 7th, 8th, and 9th time, I do Om, and then the 8th time I do Om, 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 and then the last time I do Om again. And then just see how you're feeling after that. And a few intentions that I set is, I am ready to let go of any limitations, any limiting beliefs, any restrictions, any blocks that are ready to be released, that are meant to be released, that are no longer serving my highest good. And then I say, I absorb any and all light codes, activation codes, wisdom codes, or activation codes of any sort that are for the highest good of all. So see how your life transforms after that. And then a new one that has just came into my field is, I may all the doors that are meant to open for me, and any doors that lead to unnecessary karma close. So yeah, that is what I wanted to share with the world, and I intend this will find those who need it most at this time and who are ready for these truths and for these practices that have really transformed my life. And you know, we're all different, so if they don't resonate for you, then that's totally fine. But maybe this will spark an interest of creating something that will be beneficial for the planet, that will be beneficial for yourself, and just really tuning into what resonates for you. And another thing I would like to say is how to decipher and determine what is a yes or a no for you. I just recommend to come into your heart space. So, you know, when you close your eyes, most of the time our awareness is behind our eyes, but just bring that awareness to our heart. And if you want to ask a few questions that you know for sure, yes or no, to decide and pick up on what is a yes or no for you, that would be beneficial. But most of the time, a yes is expansive, it's welcoming, it's just very liberating. It feels good. It resonates with you. You can breathe very deeply with it. A no is very constricting. You might feel like a knot in your stomach. You might feel a tightness in your throat, some type of constriction within your body, within your chakras. It might just not feel good for you. So just paying attention to that. And yeah, I hope that this helps some people who are going through these awakenings and are going through these shifts that are happening for all of us on many different levels, both globally and individually. And I send you so much compassion and so much love, and I just want to let you know you are not alone. You are never alone, and you are so loved, and you are so supported. And also, if you are like feeling unwell or are having something that is causing you anything like an illness or like a physical ailment, call in the archangels. They are here to assist us as well. They wanted me to bring that through too. So, all right, I send you so much love, and thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your support. And I will be bringing through another activation soon. I finally just got a new phone, so I'm very grateful for that. I was working with a device that was not working like at all, but I was still trying to show up and be there. But this is just making things a lot easier, and I'm very grateful for that. So stay tuned, and I will catch you in the next one. Much love.